Ache for your makwa papa daily update TV na message and no bacha na iso no hita do mana ma mesem so drop in the latest bia obaje breno nya bia tie bia na the latest news are trending. Yes, after say Supreme Court order for Dome-Kwabenya Re-Collation, oh yes, say NDC omuli di 165 voter utimi say enyeme koya per the information sa gada na ye NDC party agent afi the finally was sign na yemonwram yenhwe niam a ekoso videos ni be live no ye ba de ka ho no say ye de munsem na bebremo
collate 3 polling station outstanding results. Let's go there now.
And so, Michael Quay 50,567, 50,567. Right, and so difference is 165. That's the difference between the two candidates, 165 after the 2 out of the 3 outstanding polling stations were included. And so after the 2 outstanding was added, the NPP's Michael Quay had 50,567. For Likee Tv had 50,742. The difference between the 2 candidates is 165, and so 50,732 rather, not 42 and 32, and so the difference between the 2 is 165. If anything is to go by. If anything is to go by what we've heard, what we've heard is anything to go by. We're seeing Mr. Nimako make the case that they want to see the total against the apping sheets to get the indication as to whether or not it tallies, and that is what they're asking to be done. But the agent of the NDC is signing the statement of poll and declaration form at this particular point in time, because they are in the lead with 165 votes difference, and so that's what's happening now. But we were told that if the difference between the 2 candidates is such that 1 polling station outstanding, the results can influence the votes, then it is the case that they will have a rerun in that particular constituency. And we get the indication that outstanding polling station has a voter population of some 500 or 689 registered voters with respect to that 1 outstanding polling station. And so, well, a question was asked, and the NDC agent strongly came out saying they are not lazy, they weren't dancing at the campaign, much to the chagrin of the NPP, because the NPP team asked how the EC arrived at the numbers, which almost seems to tally with the NDC is asking for a declaration. The NDC is asking for a declaration to be made. The NPP is strongly opposing that at this particular point in time, and so the forms are being filled. The numbers appear to tally with that of the NDC. The NPP does not agree. The NDC is asking for a declaration to be made. The NPP's supporters, because that individual who's speaking vehemently is not an agent. Only accredited agents or agents identified are within the inner perimeter. And the statement of the NPP being lazy is what has really riled them up at this particular point in time. It's being moved away by one of the officials, the police officers here. And so the argument is continuing. Whether or not you were there when the collation was done is a question being asked by the NDC, as the NPP strongly counters. But this is your election command center. They're seeking to bring certain level of calm to the entire process. Mr. Nimako is rebuking his agent with respect to hitting the table, and the arguments are quite intense between the two masked men because they both are in nose masks and their faces not clearly seen for you to be able to ID anybody with respect to the arguments they are making. Mr. Okwe is on his feet and is seeking to make an interjection, but Dr. Siribokwe was asked him to take his seat. He's seeking to make a point strongly as to what the way forward is, and threats to a certain level being issued from the two marksmen, one each from the NPP and the NDC. But Mr. Siribokwe, so he's accusing the NDC marksman is literally accusing the NPP marksman of insulting him. Mr. Nimako is an arbiter. Has been seeking to preach peace and calm the waters. And Dr. Siribokwe is seeking to make that declaration, which I suspect will be a rerun in that one polling station. 665, 669, 669, and so they are going to inform the commission for a final decision to be taken on the way forward. But he's seeking to make a point, and so that is the point. There is going to be no declaration. Mr. Nimako is asking for a copy of Form 1C, which is the statement of poll and declaration form. I suspect the NPP says they don't have a copy of it. They're asking, the Form 1 is a coalition sheet. Right, so what we're seeking, what the NPP is seeking to get is a copy of the coalition sheet, and that's what they are seeking to get a copy of before they can leave. What is expected to happen is that the NPP says they want a copy of the coalition sheet, but a question is to be asked whether or not and so they are making the case for a copy of the coalition sheet to be handed to them. The big question being asked is whether or not a declaration will be made. It doesn't look like there will be a declaration in respect of announcing Likee Akurugu as the winner of Dome-Kwabenya. There's still a stalemate with respect to that, because there has to be a rerun of a possible rerun of that one polling station. From 1C, the coalition sheet is what Mr. Nimako is asking for on behalf of the NPP, because they weren't present when that initial declaration was made for Likee Akurugu, for Sina Likee Akurugu, and so that is the development right now. The disruption meant that that one polling station, both parties do not have it, and so we're seeking to get a bit more in terms of our understanding as to the way forward. Right, and so the Form 1C, which I believe is a coalition sheet, now I believe is being filled by the Electoral Commission officials for the NPP team who are present. There's a lot of conversations happening, but by way of information for you, Dr. Sribokweku went through the details again with respect to the numbers both candidates had polled. Michael Kwe Jr., 50,567. Likee Makrugu, 50,732. The difference between the two candidates is 165 votes. Now that one missing polling station, which both the NPP, the NDC, the Electoral Commission do not have details of, has 669 registered voters. Meaning, if that number is added to Michael Kwe Jr., he wins Dome-Kwabenya. And so a decision cannot be taken. He says they are going back to report to the commissioners for a decision to be taken. I reckon it will be the subject of another IPAC meeting, but if we can glean anything from what Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer told us, is that they were going to seek to rerun that polling station, which is in the Abokobi area, a polling station around that part of the country. And so finally headway appears to be being made with respect to Dome-Kwabenya at this particular point in time. But really, what next is the big question, because I must mention as well that there's presidential coalition expected for Ahafo North as well. And that's why you see LPG agent and a host of other agents. You see Peter McMahon amongst other individuals all present here and accounted for, waiting to go through the process. But now they are filling the Form 1C, which is the collation sheet for the NPP, because they did not have a copy, because they were not present when the declaration was made for Likee Makrugu somewhere December 9th, earlier on this month. And so that is the level of progress that's been made up until this point. It still appears that there is no winner at this particular point in time. You cannot say Likee Makrugu has won. You cannot say Michael Kwe has won. There's a difference of 165 votes between Likee Makrugu, who's leading, and then Michael Kwe Jr. This is a seat that the NPP has won comfortably for quite a while. Sarah Adjwasafu, the incumbent member of parliament for that particular constituency, was not retained by delegates for reasons which included she going AWOL for close to 2 years when there was duty to be carried out in parliament. She was gender minister and had left the shores of the country. The constituents argued that it was one thing they could not forgive her for. And so when she went into battle again with Michael Kwe Jr., whose father had been member of parliament for Dome-Kwabenya on the ticket of the NPP again, the delegates in the Dome-Kwabenya constituency said they will hand it over to Michael Kwe Jr. to lead the charge of the NPP. But Likee Makrugu had been forcing her way through. She clawed in some votes, considerable level of votes really, in 2020, which many analysts say should have served as warning signals to the NPP that some level of work was being done in that constituency by the NDC, and the lack of the presence of Sarah Joasafo in the constituency with respect to what should happen going forward, many say as well contributed to what we're seeing now, this difficulty by Michael Okoye Jr. to be able to retain that seat, which has been theirs traditionally and comfortably. It looks like progress has been made. Everything is being rounded up now because we see that the agents of the NPP are up on their feet. They've got their Form 1C as well, which is the coalition sheet. And it looks like there's still no clear winner just as yet at this particular point in time. We'll try and get a few words from a number of the individuals present and accounted for. Michael Okoye Jr. will be, of course, of great interest to us, even as he continues to tabulate and scribble on a jotter, along with words from Peter McMahon and Michael Okoye Jr. But some progress has been made here now finally with respect to what should be happening following the earlier misunderstanding as to the way forward. But the masked men who were engaged in some arguments, the one on the part of the NPP appears to be in a tete-a-tete of some sort with Dr. Sribo Kweku. But it looks like progress has been made, but it is not progress which will lead to a declaration for any of the candidates. There's one outstanding polling station with over 600 voters, which can considerably affect the outcome of the poll, because in parliamentary contests, it's first past the poll. Somebody can win by just 2, 1, 6, you name it what. In 2020, in Sine West, there was 16 votes difference, which handed out the seats to the NDC. And so it's first past the poll. And so when you consider that 600 plus registered voters are in that final constituency and it can overturn the election results, then the Electoral Commission will be expected to rerun. That's the indication we get from Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer from that IPAC meeting. He says they were from this morning before they all moved here. And so that is what is expected. We are waiting to see what will happen. The husband of Elik Plim is forcefully making some arguments as well with respect to the tallying of votes.
So that's what's happening at the Electoral Commission. What you're saying there, Dr. Sribo Kweku and other EC officials at this Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. And we're talking about the Dome-Kwabenya constituency. In this election, they are the biggest constituency in terms of registered voters. They had the highest number of registered voters if you do the Electoral Commission based on the data that they gave to us. And from what we understand now, there's in fact, yes, the results so declared with the 2 out of the 3 outstanding polling stations added. Michael Okoye Jr., 50,567, and Faustina Elik Plim Makurugu, 50,732. There's a difference of 165 now. The outstanding polling station has 681 registered voters. Let's go to the EC now.
By the commission, that from Dome-Kwabenya, the report from the returning officers was that they have concluded collating 367 polling station results. They were left with 3 of the results. And the 3 of the results were brought later. And the commission rejected one of it outrightness on the sense that it was